All right. Hey, guys. I'm Marcy Dillon. Welcome to my normal Tuesday night show. Thank you so much for joining. I'm seeing if anyone has hopped on yet. It looks like, yes, we have just a couple. So I know it's Halloween. I'm going to turn down this music because it's a little much right now. I thought about maybe I should get Halloween music. So every year at Halloween, I absolutely forget that it's Halloween as I'm going throughout my day. So then I'll see someone in a costume and be like, what the crap are they doing? And yeah, it's Halloween. I don't have anything. I thought about maybe getting cat ears or something. But I don't have any and I didn't even think about it. So here we are. But welcome to the Tuesday night show. So I'm Marcy Dillon. I am a resident of Norman, Oklahoma. This show is to cover some news from Norman. So if you live here, or maybe you're thinking about moving here, you can learn just a little bit more about this great state and our little pocket of it. All right. So I have a few different things to go over tonight. So if you didn't know, I am a real estate agent, and we have been talking a lot about housing because it's huge on the national scale. Like, what's going on with housing? How do you buy a house that's not going to cost you an arm and a leg, et cetera, et cetera. So I have some really interesting housing news for you tonight. So let's jump into it. And if you have any questions, please go ahead and put those in the comments. I check those, of course, so that we can see, what you have to say. So just pipe in whenever you need to. All right. So let me turn off the music for you guys and go over here to this. Here we go. Okay, so the first thing that I wanted to talk about with you guys, I'm going to share my screen so that you can see some of the photos because I think they're really good and super interesting. This first article that I read, I was like, this is genius. So something I've wondered for years is why we're still building houses out of sticks, because wood just doesn't seem like the greatest thing to build a house out of. And if we can, talk to each other through the computer, surely we can come up with technology to build a better house. So that's what's going on with this article that we have here. So this is called The Village on Walnut, and it's a development that's going in really close to the Capitol. So I think I have my map up here for you guys. Oh, but I'm going to have to share the screen on a different one in order, for you to be able to see it. So here we go. Share screen. And yes. Okay, so here's what we've got. Hopefully you can see that well. You can see all of my pins, places that I frequent all the time. Okay, so this is going to be 22 houses near the Capitol in Oklahoma City. So it's actually going to be right here. So the Capitol is in this circular thing. That's the Capitol for Oklahoma. So that's what's going on there. Let me go back to my original share screen so we can talk about this. Share. Cool. So this neighborhood is, of course, historic because it's right next to the Capitol. I don't have time to go into the history of Oklahoma City. It is truly fascinating. If you're interested in the history of Oklahoma City, then go ahead and check out Boomtown. I have it somewhere, but I listened to it. It was such a good read. So you absolutely need to read it if you're interested in the history of Oklahoma. So this neighborhood is actually anchored by a historic house, and it's an old homestead house that was it's called prairie style architecture. I think we have a picture of it here. So this one's kind of small, but yeah, you can see it on your end. I know there's another one over here. This is what the house looks like. And it's supposed to be for commercial use after these 22 homes go in this cute little pocket neighborhood. So what they're going to use in order to build these houses is going to be ICF, or insulated concrete forms, for the houses. And they've already started. Oh no, there's trick-or-treaters coming to my door, and I don't have any candy, and no one's going to answer the door, and the light's off, so they really should not. So when you hear the doorbell, that's what's happening. Oh my gosh, so frustrating. Okay. So this is a pocket neighborhood, and there's supposed to be 22 houses. There it is. There it is. The light's not on. I don't know why they rang it. Okay. So they're using these concrete forms, which are supposed to be as strong as a storm shelter if done correctly. They can also have really great energy savings. So, yeah. Okay, cool. People are gone. So there's going to be these 22 houses in there. They've already started building a few of them. I have not driven by yet, but I'm very excited to go see what this looks like. And I do have some more pictures of that. So for affordability for these homes and size of these homes, so 700 square feet all the way up to 1,600 square feet. None of these are going to have, where is it? So this is the picture of the front of these houses. None of them have backyards because they're all going to share one green space. The idea is, of course, to build community. And they're going to start at just $99,000. And what they're doing with this, to give you a little idea here, so you can see on this one kind of what this is going to look like. So the gray boxes are the houses. I believe the like lighter gray boxes are like the garages behind, and then this area in between is the community space or like the backyards, right? So I think that's pretty awesome. Let me just check over here. Okay, good. We've got that. Yes. So 80%, so half of the homes in this neighborhood are going to be targeted to those earning 80% or below of the area's median income. So that is what they're calling affordable for this neighborhood. And I believe they have to finish all of the houses before they can start with the buying process, is what's happening here. So we will see. I will keep you updated on this story because I'm super interested, and I really wish that we could have something like this in Norman. And I think that that's totally possible. It just hasn't been done before. So, yeah. Okay, perfect. So, the next thing, we will move on to my next article that I thought was super interesting is this article about the most expensive US city. And I thought this was interesting because I have been seeing people move. Hold on. There we go. I have been seeing people move from this city. And apparently, San Diego is ranking as the most expensive city in the US. And I really thought that it would still be San Francisco, but apparently it's San Diego. There's a lot of different reasons for this. Of course, the sunshine tax is going to be like the number one reason. They're like super moderate weather, which I totally get. Honestly, earlier I had the space heater in my office on for a little while because like my hands and neck were so cold that like I was like, do I need to move somewhere else to work? Like, is this not going to work out for me? I think today it's like 47 degrees outside Fahrenheit, so it's a little chilly for sure. It doesn't really get that cold in San Diego, not that I know of. So following San Diego in terms of expensive cities, Los Angeles was number 2, and then Honolulu was number 3, and Miami was number 4. All those places seem to have something in common, and I think that's the beach. So if you've ever lived there, let me know because I would like to live in one of those places, but also Norman's pretty great, so I will continue living here. So there's a few different things that they used to measure this, and what they used was like homeownership fees. I thought this one was really interesting, like saying that people in downtown San Diego were saying that homeowner fees are so high, um, and that included HOA fees. So that's something that I contend with a lot whenever I'm helping people move to Oklahoma is, they're like, "Oh, is that $300 HOA fee? That's a month?" And I say, "No, no, that's a year because 300 to $500 is typical. 500 is kind of expensive, especially for Norman. I see more commonly $300, 500. Oftentimes you get a pool or a gate, which in Norman, we really don't have gated communities. You see more of those in Oklahoma City, Edmond, Choctaw, etc. So that was really interesting to me. But I guess inflation rates are exceptionally bad in San Diego. Gas costs, of course, I've heard this from clients just for a while now that gas costs are kind of out of control in San Diego. So I'm definitely seeing people moving from San Diego to Oklahoma. And you might be saying, how? How with the high interest rates? Well, sometimes for these people that are moving from San Diego, are their monthly payment here, even if their interest rate is 8%, is going to be less than their rent. So that does make a big difference, right? Okay. So along with that, I have 4 different houses I'm going to show you guys. And the reason I'm showing these to you is because right now, the biggest home builder in Oklahoma, which is Home Creations, is actually running this kind of special or this sale, which was pretty good. Whenever I looked into it, I was like, oh, well, that's not a bad deal for people. So how this is working, let me grab my notes, which are over here. So how this is working for people, these are for new homes for Home Creations. Home Creations, like I said, is the biggest builder in Oklahoma. And to my knowledge, they're from Norman because they came here for the University of Oklahoma, but they're building here in Oklahoma. And then they've also started building recently in Houston. And I do sell a lot of their homes. So the special that they're running is called a 3-2-1 buy down. And I'll be honest, like it sounds gimmicky. Whenever you hear it, it does. And I get that. I understand that. So just know that I think that too when I hear it. And I haven't seen too many people do this. I understand why you would. And I would especially understand it if it were free because the builder is paying for it. So what a 3-2-1 buy down is in the first year that you own your house and you're paying your mortgage, your interest rate is the lowest it can possibly go. So like today, a regular interest rate is going to be about 8%. Now, I'm not a lender. I am not giving you lending advice at all. However, I'm giving you like a scenario of how this could go. So let's say that a person has a 780 credit score. So that's kind of the max, right? We don't really see much above that. I mean, you can get into the 800s, but it doesn't really matter if you do. So a person has a 780 credit score, right? So their interest rate might still be 8%, but it totally depends. So for the 3-2-1 buy down that the builder for Home Creations is giving, that means that they're going to buy down your interest rate in that first year, and it's going to be at 4.75%. So if that's a $300,000 house, which is common, and I'm going to show you their $300,000 houses, then on an FHA loan with 3.5% down, you're looking at $2,324 for your payment in the first year. And that does include taxes and insurance. And it's probably a little high, to be honest. And then year 2, your interest rate is going to go up 1%. So instead of 4.75%, it's going to be 5.75%. And that's going to run you $2,507 per month. Okay. I'm going to stop my screen share for a second. There we go. And then the third year, you're going to have a 6.75% interest rate. And for that FHA loan, 3.5% down, you're looking at $2,698. After the third year, it goes back to what the interest rate was whenever you got the house. In this case, it's around that 8%. So it would go back up to that. And you're like, well, that sounds like a terrible idea. It sounds terrible. Yes, I understand. Stride, which is the lending company that will do this with the builder, is actually doing refinances for free for all of those people who do the 3-2-1 buy down. They're just clearing out inventory, but it means that you as a home buyer get a really good deal on a house with really low payments in the first 3 years. That's all it means. And if it works for you, great. If it doesn't, I totally understand. But here's the kind of houses we're looking at. And this is what I'm talking about with these cheap, these affordable houses. I hate using the word cheap, but it just looked better, honestly, on my title than affordable did. So these are really affordable houses that are available in the South Metro. So here's what we've got. So the first one that I have, window, sure, is this one on Eagle Cliff Drive in Norman. So, like I said, I live in Norman. I live in North Norman. This house is going to be in South Norman. There is a highway connected to it that gets you to Oklahoma City. So, if we look at where this is, so down here, I don't know if you can see that, but this is all South Norman. So, kind of like where the little boxes stop, those are all houses, and then it goes into the river. So obviously no one lives in the river because it floods, but this house is in way South Norman, and it's a beautiful neighborhood. I've sold a lot of houses in there. But this house is listed right now at $260,000. So for an FHA loan, you'd be looking at even less, of course, than what I outlined for you. Let me get this up here for you. This one is this one. So 4312 Eagle Cliff is the address. Okay. So it's on 0.3 acres. It is the model home. They're closing out this neighborhood. I know what's going on there. So I've sold new houses and older homes in this neighborhood. I also have a neighborhood tour, so I can link that for you guys. So it's the model. So this is what the inside looks like. I know I've sold this plan a few different times, but this is, what the brand new home looks like. That's really bright colors. Ooh, I'm sorry. This is not really my thing, but if it's yours, like, I get it. I get it. Let me just come over here really quick. Nice. Okay. So this house, $260,000. It's available for the 3-2-1 buy down, which would get you really low payments for the first 3 years if that kind of plan works out for you. So like I said, I'm Marcy Billen. I'm a real estate agent here in Norman, Oklahoma, and I really like bringing you guys free content. So if you like my free content, will you hit the like button for me, please? You can also subscribe to my channel. And in order to, I would really love to help you buy a house or sell a house here in Oklahoma if that's what you're needing to do. So you can give me a call, of course, if you'd like to. So I really appreciate you guys watching my channel. Like, I know a lot of you watch it as soon as it comes up every week, and I do appreciate that a lot. Okay, so the second house that I have for you guys is 2221 Arcady Avenue. This is very close to the Eagle Cliff house. It's just on the north side of Highway 9. So you can see it right here. It's over here. We're going to look at another one in this neighborhood too. That's a little bit more expensive, but really cool. So also in South Norman, just in a totally different neighborhood. And I like this neighborhood too, because you can actually get into Norman without crossing Highway 9. Because if you look up Highway 9 on like traffic accidents, there's a lot of traffic accidents. So this is the address, 2221 Arcady. And like I said, we're looking at $284,000. So it is 1,700 square feet. I think I've been in this house specifically. Maybe not. I feel like I have. There's a little open kitchen. It has tile instead of like laminate or anything like that. There's probably, there's carpet in the bedrooms. This is the primary. So it has a full, a bathtub and all of that stuff that some new houses don't have. So this would be even less, of course, than the $300,000 like rates that I gave you at the beginning, right? And then the one that's I really like in Norman is 2009 Cade. So that's going to be, oops, this one. So it's this 2-story, and the reason why it's so cool is because it's next to the park in the neighborhood, and the park is 6 acres, which is cool. It's fun. So this house, a little different than some of the others that we're seeing. So this is what it looks like inside. I really like, well, of course, the neutral colors are super helpful. I think it's going to like dress up really well. But this one is actually $385,000. And yeah, it is. So one thing that is really cool about like where this is, and like anytime you live on the east side of Norman, is that it is really close to Tinker Air Force Base. So you can drive there really easily. So if that's where you're going to work. And then the last one that I have for you guys that falls into this category is Bloomington Court. So this is $300,000. It's the one that I used in my sample of like what your payments would look like if you had a 780 credit score, et cetera, et cetera. So this house is 1722 square feet. It is 3-bed, 2 baths. And this one they don't have many inside pictures of, but it is a split floor plan. So, and of course, like all of these, the primaries have walk-in closets, and this one actually has a study where none of the other ones do. I know that that's really important to a lot of people. And this one is actually in Newcastle. If you've never heard of Newcastle, Oklahoma, it is out here. Yeah. Yep. So if this is Norman, well, it is Norman. Then Newcastle's over here. I've sold a few houses in this neighborhood. I have some really cool clients that live out there, even clients that I met on YouTube that live out in Newcastle. But at $300,000, it's a pretty good deal. It might even be less than your rent. So not sure about that, but that's totally up to you. So that's that address. So I hope you guys had fun watching me tonight go over some of this housing news with you. I think it's all super interesting. I will try to keep you updated on the first houses we talked about in the village in Oklahoma City, or not the village, but the village on Walnut next to the capital, the state capital. So if you guys have any questions, just leave them in the comments for me, and I will see you next week. Thanks so much for watching.